Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Hello, hello, hello. Yes. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Hello, hello, hello. Yes. Can you? I am live and I've lost my phone, so I can't check it. Don't know where I put it. This happens all the time. If you can just, anyone is there with me. But yeah, I just at the last minute thought I'm going to go live here on YouTube, and I'll just give it a few minutes and see if anyone shows up, because it was a very last minute intuitive hit to come on here live versus recording my masterclass and popping it up. So I'll just give it a few minutes, but this is so fun, isn't it? I love all these downloads that I get. Like, they're not downloads, but it's listening to who I am and my intuitiveness from spirit, from the universe, from God, that all of a sudden I'm waiting here and I'm like, what am I doing? I need to stream into YouTube. And there you go. And that's how this stuff is so powerful. And I just love it so much. I'm just looking for my sure. Because this isn't for some reason coming up automatically either. Lots of new things going on. And sometimes, it's this trial and test and getting everything working properly. And it's starting to record now. So you might have better clarity when I'm speaking. I do have a good speaking voice though. And that's come from me being a dancer and working online, I should say, in theater. We were always told like we had to enunciate and obviously project. There was no speakers, there was no microphones back when I started dancing. It was all in the projection and the way that the theater was built to project our voices. So I speak probably, I haven't really thought about a microphone till lately, so I just ordered one. And I'll be curious to see how this listens to, how this sounds afterwards. But hello and hello, hello. Today is the first day of a 2-day live masterclass on identity. Identity is the upgrade, but we have to, for any kind of manifestation, right? Whatever it is that you desire in life, but let's be honest, we get to create our life. And age is just a number. All right. I really want to share that because I am in my mid-50s and I had to restart my life at the age of 50. And if I can do it, you can do it. Always know that's all you need to know. Someone else is doing it. You can do it too. And today's masterclass is the identity, but we have to embody it. And the embodiment is how we see the manifestation and what we desire come faster. And I do this so easily in so many parts of my life. And it is the one step that for so many you may miss. So we're going to talk today about identity. We're going to talk about your desires. We're going to talk about the strategy behind it and techniques. And you're going to be able to implement them after these 2 days with me. Okay, so and make sure, if this is sounding fantastic, hit that subscribe button below, and you'll have this video here on YouTube to keep watching and keep understanding it. And obviously, the more I'm on here now, almost every day, so I'm going to be really sharing everything that I do myself and how you can implement it in your own life. So the masterclass, like I said, is about identity. And if you don't even really understand what identity is, let's start right there, okay? Because identity is who we are, who we think we are. And you may think you're somebody different than your subconscious mind. I'll repeat that. You may think you're a confident woman and you tell yourself you're confident, yet you in your subconscious mind is saying and not believing it is to be true. And it says, no, you shouldn't do that. Oh, be careful. Someone might say something. And you get limited, right? So be careful. Limitations are fear, right? That we can't have it, that we can't do it. And the limitations in the subconscious mind is what is driving everything in your life. And this is where I had to really learn some of this from other parts of my life, primarily coming out of my marriage. I had a lot of limitations in my life. And I'd like to share these stories so that you can actually relate in your way, and this can help you change your subconscious and your manifestations in your life by hearing someone else's journey. Okay. So my limitations, I had a limitation in my worthiness, feeling good enough, my confidence, money. And all this started from my ex-husband, not from who I was prior to meeting him. Okay. So that identity, I had to work on it. I had to go in and say, okay, what is this story that I think I am? And how do I change the story that I believe to be true? So our identity, I really want you to get a piece of paper out and start taking some notes, because my story is really powerful, how I had to rewrite it. And we have the opportunity right now to rewrite your story. And remember, this moon, and right now in vibration with the universe, spirit, God, whatever it is you believe is powering you and you look up to and pray to, it is with you. Okay, it is really in you right now. And this is a really powerful time to really bring this identity, the life, the dreams that you desire to come true. Okay. So I grew up, right? So when my life started, I grew up and I remember being young, as like in school or kindergarten, and I always wanted to be a teacher. I just remember these things. And as a teacher look what I'm doing. Okay. I'm actually teaching. And I began teaching. First, I was a dancer, but then I became starting my own business, where I became then a producer in the industry, to then a coach, mentor in many different facets, from business to women with wanting to feel better about themselves, with confidence in their bodies. And now I've moved and changed my identity. Okay, I've had multiple identities that were unsubconsciously just going with the flow. But there comes a time in our lives, as we age especially, that we don't have the same confidence and we feel limited. We feel worry. We have fear, what people think about us, or should I do this? And then you ask your friends and you're not even in tune with your own body, right? This is where we need to come from a place that we are speaking to ourselves. We don't need to ask advice. We don't need to ask our friends what we think we should do. This is when we're not in attuned, we're in fight and flight, you are not confident, you don't trust yourself, and you're not having faith. So today is about really doing this work, okay? Really dig into who you are. What do you want? Who is the identity that you believe that you are? I'm a confident woman. I'm unstoppable. These are powerful ways of really starting to believe in who you are by writing them down. But then I want you to question, why don't I believe this? Because identity is the first start, right? Which is your self-concept. Your self-concept is who you are right now. What do you believe in that self-concept? And then we change the identity into the powerful woman that you are by embodying that feeling, by knowing that you are confident, by knowing that everything always works out, that if you're looking for a raise from your job, that you're going to get it because you're a confident woman. You are a confident person. You step into that leadership, right? You stepping into that next level of yourself. If it's really you've been thinking about starting a new job or starting a business on your own, you start it. You don't question it because you will know one thing more than one other person, and that's all you need to know, that you do have an idea and it will work. So this is how we start changing our self-concept, which then goes into our identity. And the identity is what you desire and believe and embody it. So we act different, right? So let's go back to, let's start with your identity. Who do you want to be? What do you want? Like we have, what, 2 months, just over 2 months left to the year. Imagine if you had a manifestation, desire something, the confidence, you want to have the dream body, money, it doesn't matter what you're looking for. Imagine if it came true. How would that feel? Would you be excited? Would you be, would you make different actions and different steps knowing that it was done, that you had it? And identity, I feel with identity, because I've shifted my identity 3 times in the last 3 months. So going back to, when was it? What month are we? November. So October, September, August, June, July. Okay. I knew I needed to sell my house. That house was not who I was anymore. So what do you mean? Seriously, that house was not me. That house that I had owned and lived in 2021 was there for me to be in something that I owned. It was COVID. It was a good investment. And it was the one that came to me. Okay. I tried to buy other homes. Nothing worked out. This one I got in the same day. That was for me. Okay. And during the process in COVID, even though there was times I would cry, I remember looking at homes, getting out, walking through them and getting out and crying in the car thinking, you can't be serious. It's this much money. And they were just pieces of crap. Because that was so much fear in the collective, right? Everybody was trying to find a house, trying to move, whatever it was. People were asking crazy money. The house was a mess, was disgusting. They got away with murder. Yeah, that's a word. Be careful of that word. But they got away with so much that you can't do now. But I did believe and knew that I would get a home. It was just a matter of time. There was some pressure that came at me during that time as well. And the pressure was that I had to be out of my house by a certain time that I was renting. And here's a funny story. So I actually was trying to buy the house that I was renting. I think 3 times I put an offer in with this guy. Like it was just like a game to him. He never even replied, nothing came back, and then I shot it down. But the reason why is the trust and understanding that everything that is happening for you, depend what you are desiring. So if you don't know what you're desiring, you're just letting it all unfold for you. You don't want that. We must be intentional in what we want in our lives. So this masterclass is about identity, but if you don't know where you're going, you can't even create. So what would you love to have? So over that time, that was the house that came to me. But so here's the fun bit, was that in 2023, I tried to sell the house and I took it off the market, I think 2 months later. It just felt wrong. Okay. I don't know, the realtor, it all felt wrong. I wasn't in the right place. I lost the intuition to do it and I took it off the market. And then I stepped back into it because that's where the identity really sunk in my embodiment of me. The baby steps that lead into some things. So the embodiment of who I was different. My worthiness, my love for myself, my gratitude, changed. And I knew I had embodied a new beginning. I had embodied the next level. Ah, I could feel that energy. It just sinks into me. So this embodiment is everything. Okay. And it is the power of your manifestation. And during that time, even though it took longer, right? It took longer than the houses were selling. I always knew it was all going to work out. I had a number in my mind. I planned it out. I saw the finish because I created it in my mind. And the embodiment is seeing the end result and knowing it's done. But the techniques of knowing sometimes just aren't that easy. Sometimes you can want something so bad that you manifest the opposite. So let's talk about money, because money is a really good one. I love money. Money talks, because I struggled in my marriage with money, that when I came out, he cut me off in that marriage. I wasn't working. I was the homemaker, whatever you want to call that. It wasn't what I desired. I wanted to work and it just didn't happen. And then you lose your identity. I completely lost who I was. I didn't know anymore who I was. I was just following and letting the world just happen. But I was manifesting my divorce without consciously knowing it because I was unhappy. It wasn't a marriage that was serving us together. Because remember, it's not just about one person. There was two people involved. So it's one thing when we get to create our own life for ourselves, that's fantastic. But we have other parties along that journey. The manifestation is going to turn out. Your life is going to be different because there's multiple people in that part. So we want to be co-creating, if we can, with other people to have the same result. But it was never going to be a co-creation and an easy separation and or divorce because we were on very different sides. It became really unhealthy and not fun, where it could have been very different, as it was for all my other ones. Like I think about, I believe it or not, was not married. I was engaged when I was very young. It ended really well. No problem. We're still friends. All the relationships I've had over time, like long relationships, all still good friends. This one, not. A marriage of 20 years, not. That shows me that we weren't meant to be married. We were meant to just have some fun for maybe a couple of years. Maybe it was only meant to marry for a couple of years. So I want you to know, to give yourself grace, to give yourself forgiveness when things didn't go the way you expected them in certain times of our lives. But the things that come out of those things are what you're meant to learn, to grow from, to go into a new identity, to change, to move forward into your life. So who are you? I want you to write down some simple things like, would you desire? What would you desire? Do you want to have a better relationship? Do you want more money? Do you want to start that business? It doesn't matter, but you need to know what you desire. And then we're going to implement what that looks like and start thinking about it and write it out like it's done. You know, if it's creating a new business, what does it look like? How are you helping other people in the business that you're doing? Is it a product business or is it a service business? We need to go deep into what it is that we desire. And these techniques are super important, super, super important. Okay. So we have to discover who and how to fully commit to your new identity and let go of all the rest. You have to let go. So when I was changing my identity, okay, a couple of months ago, when I got my house on the market, the reason I did it is because I went and changed my surname back to my maiden name, which was so good. I felt different. I knew I was different because I was doing this work. It was like, oh no, I'm not her anymore. That person was, I knew that's not who I was. I was letting that go. And as I started to letting that go, I knew that that house was also not me anymore. And I had to step into it and truly believe it 100%. It was the right choice. Even though my friends were so worried, you're not gonna have a house, because I didn't care. I was okay renting. I wanted to just be free and not have commitment of where I might buy next. I wanted that freedom. I was looking for freedom. I didn't want to have to sell and buy at the same time. It's very stressful. I didn't want that. I wanted to go with flow. Okay. And I knew it. I was completely 100% in. I was in that identity 100%. So if you're in that identity, you know it is done. There's a feeling that just feels relaxed, easy, and you trust it. So when I was selling the house, I just trusted it. Like everybody was so worried houses weren't selling because it was changing. And I was like trusting it. I'm like, oh, it's all good. It's all fine. It always works out. And I believed it. My embodiment of Yvonne Purvis knew it, because I've been doing this work in the past and I know how this stuff works. I didn't let go of my vision. I 100% trusted it and stayed in that commitment of the feeling, the house being sold. I knew it was sold. And then I knew I was getting into my beautiful new home. And I just kept seeing it. Okay. I saw, the house being sold completely, signing the contract, all of those things. So the detail is so important into what you desire in your life. There has to be a strategy that goes with not a strategy, but you have to have a plan. You've got to create that. You have to see it. And feeling it, like, how would you feel when you know it's done? The things that I have changed in my life, it has been incredible over these last 5 years. Like seriously incredible. Was it hard, some of them? Yes. I never looked at it as hard. Sometimes I did. Sometimes I thought life has been hard. And then what do you get? You get more hard. I was running with my running friends the other day, and we were in doing hills. Okay. And it was a hot, humid day. And one lady at the end just said how hard it was, and she was out of breath, and hard. And I sat there on the ledge looking out at the beautiful ocean saying, wow, that was so easy. It was such a fun, easy run. Just like that. And she says it's hard. And did I feel that it was hard? It was. But I would never say that. It just pushed me into another energy of my running. Like there were intense portions where my heart rate was up higher, but then there was parts where it was really easy. But that's just, going with the flow, right? Did I stop? I think at one stage I even stopped to catch my breath. But it was an easy run. So we get to choose how we want our life to feel. You can feel it like it's hard, or you can feel that it's easy. And when you decide on how you want it to feel, and everything is done, you have nothing to worry about. Because it is easy. Because it's fun. because I love how I feel after my run. Always feel amazing. There's never a bad run. There's never a bad workout. Have you heard that? Because there isn't. The only bad workout or run is the one you didn't do. That's the saying. That's true. So when we are committing, so if you want your dream body, right? This is a really big one too, because I've coached in it for so many years and struggled with it in my own life. So think about your body. Think about, how do you feel in it every day? Does it feel hard? Does it feel heavy? Do you feel unhappy and not worthy and self-love, and you're not in gratitude for your life, for the body that you have? That is the start you start with. I want you to feel so good that your body is there and you can get up in the morning and you have putting your feet on the ground and you can walk and you can do all these amazing things. That is the baby steps of the identity. And then the identity is like, pull out a pair of pants that you have in your closet or a dress that you want to get into, and you see yourself wearing it. See the vision of doing the actions that give you the result. You can't just instantly going to lose weight, but you can up here, right? Create the identity in your mind. Create everything up here. Every time when you go through identity shifts and upgrade, it is the belief the belief that you can do it is always where you're not sure. And that's the subconscious mind. Because when you're sleeping and you're weak, you're going to bed and you've had something to eat, like these are two easy ones. So it's always, dream body, wanting to lose weight and money. I just feel that they are the ones that I have so much experience in and I know I'm so good at. Because when it comes to manifesting things like travel, business class, upgraded hotels, that is just so easy to not be attached to, right? Because we have to detach. Detach is huge. I'll do another masterclass on detachment, but we have to detach from the end result. So, but for dream bodies, like weight loss and money, we are needy of wanting to see it and knowing that it's there. So think about when you want to buy an outfit that is 2 sizes smaller, right? You can't even try it on because you probably are not at the right weight. Would you go and buy a dress for $200 or whatever it is that you believed as the identity that you are now? Would you do that? Would you buy that dress? If the answer is no, you don't believe you can do it. Think about money. This is so good because I do this all the time, right? Because money, investing. Okay, so if you want money, and you don't know how to recreate it, would you invest in a coach to help you diversify your income or make more money or put something into investment or start a new business if you didn't have it? So if we don't have the money currently that we want, but we have enough to invest, or you could figure out a way to invest, would you? Same thing, right? Can you see how both of them are so relevant? It doesn't matter of the desire, like even buying a house. So, would you, okay, let me just think about buying a house, how that would work. So buying the house, you see the house, you would then be planning the furniture, right? You go and you get the floor plan of the house and you look at the furniture and where it's going to fit and what it's not going to fit. And then maybe something that you're not going to take because you're going to buy something new. But it's also the belief that you know that this is the house for you, right? Like when you walk into a house and you have that feeling like, yeah, I can live here. Love it. It's a knowing. And then it's just a matter of putting down an offer and trusting that process. Sometimes you're being stretched to put in a little bit more down. And this is where we can feel uncomfortable, and we don't, even though we may have the money to invest more, but we feel fearful around the money and being able to make our payments. So it's a very similar expectation and feeling in that home. Does that make sense? Now, I know with homes, we got to show bank what we can afford and all the rest. So there is sometimes that third party, but then we can go to somebody outside of a regular bank to get a loan that will help you get that loan, right? So this is where, if your desire is big enough, it'll work out. Can't go like $1 million more than you can, but it is possible to be able to pay a little bit more, even though you think you can, but you would like to find someone that will give you that extra bit of money to get the home. If you feel it and believe it, that you will get the money back in some ways. All right. Do you understand now? You're starting to understand how the identity is the all. Okay. It's not the all. It's the starting point, the self-concept identity. But then it's the trust and the faith and the embodiment that it's going to be okay. And that belief is everything. So what do we do? Okay, so how do we start to create the identity? Okay, these are the steps I'm going to give you. So I want you to write it down. Write down the things that you want. You've got 2 months to the end of the year. I always think this is a really great time to know, okay, what do I want? Doesn't mean you have to wait 2 months. But I'm giving you a plan to think about, right? So if it's, who would you be? How would you be different? How do you act? If you want to have the dream body, how would you act for Christmas knowing you had lost, I'm just throwing out a number, 10 pounds, okay? How would you feel? How would you act? Would you feel better about yourself? More confident? Because that is the feeling and knowing, and then we put the action into play to get there. I don't like talking about pounds though anymore. I don't. I think you need to come from a place of just being healthy. Start with health. How would a healthy woman be and act? How would you treat yourself? How would you nourish your body? How would you be out? How would your energy be? These are the things that we have to think about and be and understand. And then you've got to, careful of the thoughts that you are self-sabotaging yourself. The mind creates everything we desire, and then we have limiting beliefs and fear that pop in. And that's the stuff that we have to stop, right? You have to say, no, that's not who I am. Bring it back to who you are, your new identity. It's all good. You're doing the work. It's always working out. And lean into it. Creating more money. How would you want to create more money? What does that look like for you? You want to have a little side business that helps generate some more? Do you want to go and have a raise from the job you're in? If you're an entrepreneur like myself, how are you bringing in the extra clients to pay for your services? Same thing. How do you feel about it? What do you want to implement? How many people do you want to have in your business? Are you a service-based or product-based? How many people are buying your product? How many clients are coming into your coaching business? And then you just feel it and you know it's done. You have to see it in the mind. You have to believe it 100%. Because you act different. You show up different. Like, I've seen videos of myself like years ago, and I look at them now and I think, wow, I can feel the different energy. I can feel the energy from people that are in my inner circle at the moment, right? That know me. There's some energy there. And I know I'm elevating, and some people are, there's feeling contrast and they're projecting on me of that makes them uncomfortable, right? And you've got to just trust all that and let it go. This is where life starts. When we start elevating ourselves, there may be friends that are uncomfortable. There may be someone uncomfortable in your life or a partner, and you have to have those conversations. Maybe not with friends sometimes, I don't know, but like friends can feel threatened if you start to lose weight, if you're all the same. They may not, they might feel like, oh, that's going to make me feel bad. When you go out, here's a really great one to think about. So when you go out for dinner, now this is like so good, right? And you start ordering different types of food, and you start feeling friends saying, oh, why don't you have this? Want some of mine? And you're like, no, I'm good. I'm eating that makes me feel better. This is the confidence you need to have within yourself to say, no, I'm fine. I'm having this beautiful chicken salad today, and I'm really excited about it. But if you used to have a hamburger and you start changing the way you eat, and you start then just going down a path that you are a healthy woman, you're going to have the body that you dream about, that you've always wanted, and you are 100% committed and you feel it and you are being it, those are the choices you make. And you can't let the friends and people bring you down. You have to hold the vibration. You got to hold the belief. You got to trust yourself and be okay with every decision. So this is the stuff that we work about. This is the stuff of the identity. Okay. And today I really want you to dig into who are you? What is that identity? How do you shift that identity? Because it is the most powerful thing that will change your life. So powerful. All right. Like I said, my identity now is totally different than I was literally, I would say almost a week ago. I have leaned into her and being her now. I act from that. 100% confidence. Doesn't mean you have those little voices that want to come back up, because fear is always there. Lean into it and trust it and believe it. I hope you've enjoyed this class today. A lot of information in here today, really powerful stuff. And ask yourself, are you worthy of what you desire? Are you worthy of the woman that has the desired body that you've dreamed of for maybe 20 years? Are you worthy of making more money? Are you worthy of, maybe it's a partner and wanting to divorce the man you're with, and it scares you because you have kids and you think about them. If it's truly not meant for you anymore, I now know that sometimes we're not meant to be together forever. Because if you're not being you and living your life the way that you want to live, and being able to be free in how you speak and how you act and having fun and there's no harm, that is what you've meant to be. And if you feel that you're being restricted in any way, that is not you living your true life. That is you being controlled, clipped. And that is my experience in when two people come together. Maybe it's things that we never thought of. Did you ever think of the values you put on yourself? The values of what you desire and deserve, because it's your deserving of being enough and having self-love, that this is what is important to you. It's the importance of who you are in all areas. Okay? It's always about your love and gratitude and love and worthiness. It's the only reason you aren't not having and attracting what you desire. When we don't feel worthy enough and we don't feel good enough and we are feeling in such lack, how can you have what you desire in that energy? That energy repels, right? When we lack something, we feel not worthy, like, oh, I'm going to eat that food. I'm going to start my diet on Monday. That is lack. It's not relief. Nothing changes in that. You desire to start that business and just go for it. And then you start your business and then you go, oh my God, no one's going to buy from me. My offers never sell. No one ever buys from me. I'm not making money from this. Maybe I better get a side business or a side job or go back to my job. These are the things that you are limiting yourself in your belief that you can have it. And I did that in my business years ago. Didn't believe in myself, my worthiness. I would be up and down in that. So everything is about your belief in yourself. Everything is that you know that you can have it. But if you are limiting yourself in a world that is limitless, right? We can have everything we desire, but you can be cutting it off from your thoughts and your subconscious mind of fear. Take action from your desire. Your desire is what you get the energy from. And you have to stay in that energy. Now, I'm not talking about being super happy all the time. That is not it either. That's not sustainable. We are human beings and having a human experience. So when you think about, you could have a low moment, right? Oh, have that feeling for a moment. Don't stay in it and come back into, no, it's all good. All we're going to work out, right? We can have a sad moment of feeling sad, but don't stay in it too long. That lower vibration is what cuts us off from the higher good, right? That's when you are in the 3D, which is this human person, this human body, this human experience of what you think life is. And what we are creating, what you want to create, is outside of this 3D of the dreaming like you were a child, right? Like as a I wouldn't have 3, but whatever kindergarten is, I don't know, that I wanted to be a teacher. Like I had such big dreams. I was always dreaming, right? I would go to bed dreaming, dancing in my head. I would be dreaming about all these amazing things. Then I was dreaming about boyfriends, right? I was very, very connected to this higher self, as kids normally are, but I was meant to be doing this work because I was doing it at such a young age. And I continued doing it all into my life, even meeting my ex-husband and moving countries. But then it got cut off because I wasn't aligned with who I was anymore, and I was being controlled. Wasn't allowed to speak a certain way. I had to speak a certain way. It was just control, that I was like, who am I? So if you are feeling like that, rewrite your story. Rewrite your story. It is your life. Take control of it. And here's the thing, sometimes the hard bit about all this is to actually acknowledge that you participated. We participate in our life, unknowing and knowingly. And that is the part of the forgiveness, and let it go and go, you know what? I learned a lot from that experience. And now I am going to create consciously in my life. And I want you to write out your story. And that tomorrow we will dig into how that embodiment of who you are is actually here. Okay? So get that pen out and start scripting out your life. Who are you? What are you doing? Who are you doing it with? And then start seeing it in your mind. Start seeing it. Play it out. It's happened. And then I want you to feel that feeling. Okay? So I hope you've enjoyed this amazing masterclass today. This is the identity you are creating. So this is the desire that you have been wanting. The desire of, the beautiful marriage, the new partner, dream wedding, having the money, having a baby, right? Doesn't matter what it is. We all have usually one thing we want right now. So what is that one thing that you would love right now? When we're starting this journey of identity, sometimes it's about focus on one thing to be that person. because I've done things like this my whole life, I can incorporate a little bit more. But we still need to be having that attention on that one thing. So find that one thing that you would love to change about yourself. And then I want you to just act from that. Write down what that is. How do you act? How do you see yourself? What is it that you're doing? All right. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I can't wait to hear any comments or emails. Pop in some comments here. Oh my gosh, it's been so good being here live on YouTube. I'm so excited for this channel. Please subscribe below, comment below. We are growing. It is, it's just so fun. I want to know my community. I'm all about community. I've always been about community. So I'm here because it is a huge world, right? We can have everything we desire, and I want to help you have everything you desire in your life. So I'll see you tomorrow.